Hey everyone, Tim Schofield here, and today we're going to take a look at two new robot vacuums. This is the Deebot N8 Plus and Deebot N8 Pro Plus. Both of these are from ECOVACS. Big thanks to ECOVACS for sending both of these for us to check out and sponsoring this video. Now, between the two, they have a lot of similar features. However, there are about two main differences between the two, so I want to take a look at those. Their new N series of robot vacuums also has Osmo mopping, so you not only vacuum your floors, you also can mop them as well. Both of these also come with an auto empty station, and it has been fantastic. It's so nice not having to empty out the robot vacuum every single time you run it, which I've had to do in the past. It actually has its own station that empties it for you, just one less thing to worry about. The Deebot N8 Plus is $5.99 and the Deebot N8 Pro Plus is $6.99. So let's go ahead and take a look and compare the two robot vacuums from ECOVACS. Let's get started. Taking a look at the Deebot N series side by side, they look very similar. Now, this flips up, revealing the QR code for the easy setup process within the app. There's a power button and even a brush here where you can clean out the different aspects of the vacuum. Now, for the mopping, on the back has a quick little latch, and you fill this tank up with water and you attach the mopping pad to the bottom of this clear reservoir. And this is a quick look at that mopping pad that is included. This is the washable pad that's attached to it. You can take this off. We'll talk more about that in just a second. And a quick look down at the bottom. Again, very similar. These wheels have a lot of grip on them, so I'm not worried about the robot slipping on any surface. At the front of the robot vacuums is where you'll notice the main difference between the two. The N8 Plus on the left does not have the extra sensors needed for the True Detect 3D, which will detect objects better than the N8 Plus. Again, we'll talk more about that a little bit later, and then another difference in just a little bit. ECOVACS makes the setup process really simple. They have their own app, and you just go through that to connect the robot vacuum to the internet, and then you can completely control it from the app on your phone. You also can sync it with Alexa or the Google Assistant, so you can use your voice to activate the vacuum. Once you have the robot vacuum set up, you run it throughout your entire floor with the doors open. Make sure you clean up the floors, and it will actually map your entire apartment, your home, just the floor that you have. So then it remembers what it actually looks like, where the barriers and obstacles are. The N8 Plus and N8 Pro Plus use DTOF laser sensors using their true mapping technology. And this actually has improved range and accuracy and creates an interactive map of the floor. Yes, it's interactive. You can label specific areas. You can customize where there are walls where you do not want the robot vacuum to go. You've even got the ability to schedule your cleaning when you don't want it to run, when you do want it to run. So this is the ECOVACS home app. Going into it brings up our Deebot N8 Pro Plus. Swiping over, there's our N8 Plus. This is my house. Now, if you do want to scan a QR code, you can do so by pressing that icon, scan it, and it brings you through the setup process for that specific robot. It was really simple. Now let's go into one of our robot vacuums, and it brought up one of a recent cleanings that I did. Now this map is something I really want to point out in just a second because it's so cool how it maps my entire floor. On the left is cleaning preferences, where you can clean it multiple times. You can choose the vacuum power if you want it to go all the way up and really use that suction. You can do so. Also with the mopping, there's a water flow level where you have low, medium, and high amounts of water coming out. Now, if you look at this map, you'll notice I labeled all of the different rooms. So it sectioned everything off for me. So after it mapped my entire floor, it sectioned all of these different areas off. So we've got our living room, our kitchen, a hallway, laundry room, bedroom, closet, and they're all sectioned off. So I can choose, let's say I spill something in the kitchen. I can choose, hey, just go to the kitchen and clean that. You can also change the sequence if you have a specific sequence you want the robot to go to. Pressing the area button, you can select specific areas. So if I only want the family room, the hallway, and the closet, you'll see it colored those in, and that is the only area that will clean once I press the main button. Otherwise, you can select auto. It will clean all of them. I mentioned they both have the true mapping technology. However, the N8 Pro Plus, an advantage that it has the true detect 3D, so it is better at recognizing objects, cables, shoes, things on the floor, and avoiding them in comparison to the N8 Plus. And this has been the case with cables on the ground. The N8 Pro Plus has done a much better job at not sucking up and getting those cables all tangled in comparison. The Deebot N series has 110 minutes of runtime, and for example, if you have a very large home, maybe you need a little bit more than 110 minutes of cleaning, it has smart continuous charge, so it will actually go back to the charging dock and know how much longer it needs to run, so it doesn't need to charge all the way up to 100%. It will charge just enough to finish the cleaning, which is great because it saves a lot of time, and then you don't have to sit there and wait for it to charge completely before it just finishes a smaller section. And onto that auto empty station that both of these robot vacuums have. It is such a nice perk. It comes with hypoallergenic bags that auto seal, so when you do take them out, dust doesn't go flying everywhere. The empty station makes a decent amount of noise for a short period of time when it empties the robot vacuum, which makes a lot of sense. You need a decent amount of pressure and suction to clean out the robot vacuum, and for me, it is completely worth it. Here's a quick test of emptying the dustbin. So as you can tell, it is really loud, but again, this sounds just about as loud as maybe a normal vacuum would back in the day, and it really is worth it not having to empty out the dustbin yourself. It collects it in the bag up towards the top. It also doesn't last crazy long, so as you can see, it is already done, and you're good to go for another run. And this gets us to our final difference between the two, and that is the amount of suction they have. You have 2300 PA versus 2600 PA. Now, fun fact, PA stands for pascals, which gauges atmospheric pressure, essentially how strong the suction is in the robot, so the higher number, the higher the suction. Let's run a quick cleaning test between the N8 Plus and N8 Pro Plus. Here they both are side by side. Now, these won't cross paths at all because I actually drew virtual boundaries in between them so I can specify where I want them to stay. Now, this was a great test. I ran this multiple times. You'll see I made a huge mess in the kitchen with some cereal, dirt, mulch, and they have to pick it up. And this actually was a great test because I could tell the difference between the suction. Both of them were on max suction. With the different levels of suction they have, the Pro Plus definitely did a better job. Now, it wasn't that the N8 Plus was bad at all. It just took a couple extra times to go over a large mess to clean everything as well as the N8 Pro Plus did. The N8 Pro Plus, with a larger mess, could suction just about everything up in one go, whereas the N8 Plus didn't quite pick up every single thing. Again, this is a very large mess. Keep that in mind. So if you're looking for a vacuum with more suction, maybe you have a really thick carpet to pick stuff up, the N8 Pro Plus will be the way to go. But if you're not predicting a lot of large messes, the N8 Plus does just fine. Even if you do have a lot of large messes, it did great. Again, it just takes a little bit longer. It doesn't suck everything up in one go. And don't forget, you have that Osmo mopping built into both of these robot vacuums. So it's not just a vacuum, it's also a mop. You fill it up with water, you attach the mopping pad. They have a reusable one, but it also comes with disposable ones, which are very convenient. If you just want to run the mop, go ahead and peel it on off and throw away the disposable one, or you can just keep cleaning the reusable one. The mopping system has electronic water flow control, so you can change how much water is being used to clean the floors from a higher level to a lower level, and you can customize this depending on where the robot is. If you want it on tile to use a little bit more or on the hardwood to use a little bit less, that's up to you. And you might be asking, what about carpet? What if I have carpet around my apartment? What if there's big rugs around my apartment? And that is a problem that I ran into, but it actually has auto carpet detection. So when it goes up to a rug that I have, or it goes up to different carpets in the bedrooms, it just stops. It recognizes that there's carpet, so when it's in mop mode, it doesn't actually mop over the carpet. Now, I don't have any stairs in my apartment, but I was still able to test both the N8 Plus and N8 Pro Plus, and it did very well. I didn't have any accidents. Nothing went tumbling down the stairs. It seems like their laser sensors actually could tell where there was a drop-off, stopped itself, and worked around it. If you are someone with multiple levels within the app, you can create multiple maps so it can map out your upstairs and downstairs. That way it doesn't get confused and it keeps it separate. Now to wrap everything up with the Deebot N8 Plus and N8 Pro Plus. Again, there's two big differences between the amount of suction and that extra cable and object detection system. Now, if you're like me and you have a lot of cables laying around, I would go with the N8 Pro Plus. Again, also with the extra suction, it definitely cleans up the dirt a little bit more. Maybe it has to run over specific messes a little bit less because it has that extra suction. Now, if you don't need that extra suction and you don't have a lot of objects laying around on the ground, the N8 Plus is also a great option. Again, you get the mopping with both of them. You get the auto cleaning station from both of them. That is huge. I don't think I'll ever get another robot vacuum without that auto cleaning station. The app's very simple to use. It's excellent that I can customize the room. So if I make a mess in the kitchen like you saw, I can just send the robot to that specific area in my apartment. You can purchase the N8 Plus and N8 Pro Plus at the links in my description. So again, this is the new Deebot N series from ECOVACS. I hope you enjoyed the video. Drop a comment. Let me know which one you will go with and let me know what you think. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up. As always, thanks for watching.